Gold bugs and Gilvazans, this is internet personality Vangelus, and I finally got the other A-level Distro Deluxe from Transformers Generations last year in 2024, the vaunted Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Bumblebee, one of the tiniest deluxes on the market if one were to go entirely by stature alone. I'm not one of those, but I appreciate all of you baby boomer fans who are still sticking things out. That said, I have never in my life seen this figure on a Canadian retail shelf, so I ended up getting him for around $20 American shipped from Amazon USA. A crisscross of circumstances that feel absolutely ridiculous. But hey, that's still less than Canadian retail. It's worth noting he is apparently a common shelf warmer and clearance sticker bearer stateside, and I'll say right off the bat, if you can get this guy for around $10 of your local currency, he is absolutely worth it.
This video was sponsored in part by ToyHacks.com. Use the code JULYJALOUS through the month of July 2025 for 15% off your order of labels and other paraphernalia. Using the code supports the channel. Supporting the channel feeds the machine.
This is clearly Bumblebee from old Transformers, but is he perfectly screen accurate to the 1986 film? No, absolutely not. His feet are huge and his torso is a meatball. To call this a bad Bumblebee toy would be utterly bonkers, though. He's just stuffed with dripping evocation of the essence of that little freak. He fuses some toy blobs with cartoon shapes, much like generations of old, and while he is very diminutive, he does small in one of the best ways possible with his girth of layered plastic solidity. Also, his head sculpt is a perfect topper to his Bumblebeesic body and aesthetics. The horns are friendly, and the blue and silver paint on his eyes and face have just enough pop. There is a single accessory in the box. It is a silver gun. It looks fine. You can store it on his back if you like, where it juts out comically on the existing backpack. Unleash whatever silver handgun discourse you've had built up in your head in the comments. Reaping the minor benefits of a ball socket connection, there's a little bit of rotation on here. A little bit of emoting, just enough with this funny round head with the little horns to make me say, he's thinking more than simple binary thoughts. His ball socket shoulders have cuts in the top so he can T-pose while doing so, and throw uppercuts. There's a big, solid bicep swivel and a big, solid, nearly, there we go, 90-degree elbow hinge. There's transformation stuff involved here, so number one, you can't bend his elbow backwards, boohoo. But also, it clicks in for that last bit. That could be annoying to some folks. I don't really mind it that much myself. And hey, wrist swivel! He also turns at the waist, and despite, the plumpness and the slight backpackedness, nothing gets in the way of that, really. I could see, your fingers bumping the backpack, but that's about it. There's a pin hingery for the crotch, and this means, the perfect H-form is possible. Thigh swivel is dedicated mushroom pegly thing like the bicep up there. The knee is that hinge, it can go 90, and it is really easy whilst manipulating that to manipulate the transformation hinge there, which gives him some backward step forward tiptoe motion on his foot, but also it can be kind of annoying when you really just want to bend his dang knee. Also, the feet are so huge that bending the knee like this doesn't really help with propositions like sitting in a chair. There is also a hinge there, which is basically an ankle tilt, but it's right below the knee, which looks weird. But it does mean that, you can power stance and go like, I ain't nothing but a double sigma. All in all, though, I like the articulation on this little dude for being so plump and small, yet ambulant and flexive. I don't know, for some reason I just kind of was anticipating something more demure and basic, and something about the way that he moves is ever so slightly more lifelike than I thought a dude this compact would end up with in 2024 Transformers. As though that's somehow majorly different than 2025 Transformers. As I unleash his towering spinal strut, hide his head away, and begin blossoming the midsection unfurl, I'll state plainly that Studio Series 86 Bumblebee's transformation is absolutely a highlight of the toy for me. This is a textbook example of filling out a short character in the deluxe price point with more delicious meat. And what I like the most about this meat is its consistent mouthfeel. Every major beat is built upon satisfying moments and neat tricks, even down at Bumblebee's often predictable feet. But where fold-away interlocking panels could be finicky and weird, the ones that form the bottoms of the feet simply work with tactile satisfaction, before everything completes with a dynamic hood reveal, for the lack of a better term. This transformation fills out a discounted sales price alone. I didn't bring this up during the robot mode segment because it's much louder here, but this adorably squashed car mode has a rounded front, but a squared off roof and windshields. Black windshields, by the way, not blue. It's weird. It's Penny Racer. I don't really mind that much, it's just a conversation starter. I do think the double Autobot insignias come off like a G1 toy stickered by a toddler, though. Colors aside, I do appreciate the full breadth of paint apps covering the headlights and tail lights, the front bumper and rear bumper, with silver on every pinned wheel's hubcap. And best of all, the car mode is a solid hunk! Like, I can disengage the rear shell piece if I squeeze too hard, but that feels like a me problem, not a Bumblebee problem. Also, you can store the gun back there in the same spot as the robot mode. It's sideways. It functions. Unleash your gun mode discourse in the comments section, and while you do, I'll say that I remain undecided on the unofficial solution of just jamming it in one of the available spaces underneath, where it really should have had a locking point. There is clearly enough space to have worked out something less jangly in there. I found this figure to be a very pleasant surprise, admittedly, as I keep asserting, bolstered by getting him on sale. But this was a much more solid piece in my opinion than the other 2024 A-Level Deluxe, Transformers 1's Optimus Prime. And that's because this is simply a good Transformer, hitting both modes solidly with a dead delightful transformation in both directions to bind them together. His aesthetics trend more towards general generations than specifically Studio Series, but frankly speaking, I think he looks fine alongside Commander Optimus, and I think he looks fine with the other most modern deluxe Minibot renditions. Do not ever overpay for this figure while it remains available, but holy moly, I think most any Transformers fan would have a nice day with this piece if you can get it for under 20 of America's dollars. Anyway, this has been Internet Personality Vangelus, and I wanted to take a moment to thank all of my supporters on Patreon, YouTube memberships, and Ko-fi for collectively making me feel better about being a meatball worth at least 20 American dollars, despite my lack of pure screen accuracy.